Greetings and welcome to Apocalypse Prevention Agency, so named after my characters who are very good at causing apocalypses. I'm your guide Lillian, and today I'll be introducing you to the new innovative tier list for your favorite characters, the hierarchy of boys. My fabulous characters. No, I don't actually condone the hierarchy. It's something my boyfriend came up with after I watched Anna and the Apocalypse. But I'll save the issues I have with it for part 2. Today I'll be introducing you to the hierarchy and explaining each of the 10 levels with examples. Before we start, here's your spoiler warning. This is a list of all the movies and TV shows I'll be talking about, so just make sure you aren't going to be spoiled for anything you don't want to be spoiled for. And as you can see, you've also got my illustration here of each of the levels of the hierarchy, from beta to iconic boys, and lots of fun TV shows and characters to talk about. Now, here's the basic rundown of the hierarchy. There's 10 levels from beta to iconic boys with particular defining traits. So they can also be grouped into a 3-level hierarchy, where the bottom 5 levels are in similar terms of being pretty lame, whether by choice or circumstance. They can suffer from negative traits such as being untrustworthy, superficial, lacking killjoys, or fakers. Above them, boys and cool boys will hang, inspire, and be real with you, and although they may not be the best, they are trying. Then at the top we have real ones, Viben Boys, and iconic boys. They're good quality, trustworthy, fun, chill, and someone you can die for or would die for you. They are real and true to everyone. And this is already pretty inconsistent if you compare these two pyramids. This makes boys seem worse than what they seem like in the other pyramid. Anyway, I'm trying to use PowerPoint in Movie Maker and my timing is off, so I apologize. Here we have the beta. Betas, according to the hierarchy, have no source, are pushovers, lame, and not cool, not even a little. John from Anna and the Apocalypse is our example beta, because that movie was where this idea originated from. Here we have some prime examples of what makes John a beta. These images are from the song Turning My Life Around, towards the start of the film, where we first see the zombies emerging. The utter delight of this song is the complete obliviousness of the main characters to the chaos happening all around them. This is them at their happiness, and a real high point of the movie that gets depressing fast. John at this point has been introduced as Anna's best friend, who aspires to go to art school. Our first glimpse of him for the song is him tying his shoelaces, which is a very beta thing. And he's doing a few stretches, which is not cool either, and he's got a Christmas sweater, which either means beta or iconic boy. And from what we've seen so far, it just doesn't look like he's going to be anywhere near that far up the hierarchy. When he runs on his way to school, he falls over, a classic beta move. You can see it in the bottom right. Right, yeah, it's the bottom right. Yeah, my screenshots are terrible. He's adorable. The mutual sincere enthusiasm when he and Anna finally meet at the cemetery is heartwarming and uplifting. See, this is so cute. Like, look at them point at each other. It's adorable. They're really just enjoying themselves, spinning around like a couple of goofballs. Of course, then he gets friend zoned, and then he gets killed by zombies. The first of the main cast to die, only about halfway through the movie, so truly the tragic tale of a beta. Bozos, according to the hierarchy, are untrustworthy, lame, but can be fun. Honestly, I feel bad about my bozo examples and my beta ones, since I do feel like I do like these characters, sorry, and it seems unfair to put them so low, but There's a couple of reasons why they're here. Ron Weasley, well known for being Harry Potter's best friend in the most famous book/movie series ever, has some anger issues and can be a bit of a sore loser. He'll get frustrated by Harry's successes rather than support him, and for portions of several books he'll refuse to speak to Harry or Hermione at all. That being said, I really like Ron, and in the end, he's good and fun and sweet friends, Harry and Hermione, the rest of the time. And there's clear reasons for his frustrations, with him having a few older, more successful siblings like Bill and Charlie and Percy, which honestly makes him pretty similar to one of my own characters, Edmund, but we'll talk about that later. And then we have Xander Harris from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And he's mainly here for bailing on his wedding to Anya. And with all the build up to it, it's a bit of a low move. Though, in his defense, she is a demon. But thinking about Buffy made me realize that there would be an even better example, which is Andrew, who along with Warren and Jonathan was part of the trio, the wannabe supervillains from season 6. Andrew is the one with the magic skills, and while he doesn't have the evil intentions to the extent of Warren, horrible murderer, he is actually quite idolizing of Buffy and the Scooby Gang. He's still a willing accomplice for all this bad stuff and still going along with it, so. And when Warren is killed, it doesn't become an opportunity for Andrew to see the error of his ways. He ends up killing poor Jonathan, that one friend he has left. And although he eventually ends up on the side of the Scooby Gang, it takes a long time for them to be able to trust him, since he's proven for so long he's not really very trustworthy, so he definitely meets that criteria. Good job, man. A wannabe is essentially a character who really wants to be an alpha, as though they see alpha as being the top of the hierarchy, but they lack the natural charm and abilities. So Eli Kardashian is a character from the excellent post-apocalyptic Netflix series Daybreak. He's essentially the perfect encapsulation of a wannabe. He's a nerd and an outcast who loves Magic the Gathering to the extent he'd kill someone over his card collection, but he tries very hard to act cool. He's always wearing designer brands and name-dropping designer brands, and desperate to get and keep whatever symbols of power, dominance, and prestige he can get his hands on. Disguises himself as the main antagonist, Baron Triumph, and claims ownership of them all, refusing to let protagonist Josh and his companions have a part of it. Although originally I thought not fun wouldn't apply to Eli's, and to me he's the funnest part of the show, I realized that in the context of the story, he's a constant annoyance and obstacle for the main characters, so for them he's not fun, and most of the time he's a nuisance at best. Scrubs and plebs are bad at most things. They can be fun and are just a little lame. I actually struggled to come up with good examples for this that I didn't think would better fit as a beta or a bozo. I decided on Scott Pilgrim, and I'm sorry, I'm not actually very familiar with the comics, but I do love this movie. Well, he's too successful to be a beta, but too awkward or not chill enough to be on a Boiz level. He defeats a whole bunch of evil exes, but for the most part, that's with a bit of luck and help from others rather than having like mad skills. He lacks self-confidence and would rather avoid the exes than fight them. So he is great at Dance Dance Revolution, which is a game I detest because I suck at it, and it's not even real dancing. I hate it so much, and why did the movie have to make it look fun? But Mary Elizabeth Winstead is the best. Alphas, alphas, alphas. These guys are everywhere, self-absorbed and only caring about getting hot chicks and pretending the world revolves around them. Well, they don't always have to be that bad. For this example, we're going back to Anna and the Apocalypse, where Nick and his ex, who really didn't treat her well, gets a phenomenal song, Soldier at War, that excellently demonstrates his position as an alpha. He's got a baseball bat and a gang of cronies. He points, they charge. Clearly establishing him as a leader, he walks with style, with swagger, with sophistication. He remains confident, not letting other emotions like fear take hold. He's got control and precision, but he's relaxed, taking it easy. He tells the girls, "Ladies, why don't you get behind me?" and forces them back. It's quite patronizing. It's not a concern for their safety. He's there to show off and be arrogant. He jumps on cars and kneels on shopping carts. Every action is to make him look cool, and unlike if a wannabe tried it, he actually looks cool. He uses language that makes his position clear. He's a soldier at war. While they've been hiding, he's been kicking some ass. He's a much more powerful asset in the apocalypse scenario. He knows what he's doing. He's good at killing zombies. Of course, overconfidence can also be detrimental for an alpha. It can lead to stupid decisions or trying to do more than they're actually capable of and getting people hurt. And here we have another example of an alpha, well, according to this definition anyway, it is Ferris Bueller. He's confident, he does whatever he wants, he outsmarts everyone who's after him, he treats his friends pretty badly, and one of the worst things he does is get his friend Cameron in big trouble, insisting they take Cameron's dad's car for their escapades when Cameron doesn't want to go along with it at all. But Ferris refuses to listen to his friend. He's too self-centered. Cameron is essentially the beta that's the victim to Ferris's alpha. Things end up getting very bad for Cameron, and he gets very upset while Ferris would rather just take it easy and ignore the consequences of his actions. Once again, I'm very bad at timing my slides since I moved them to Movie Maker, but I think this is some cute pictures anyway. You can see Ferris with the car there. Bad things are gonna happen. The beta-alpha conflict is of course a theme of Anna and the Apocalypse as well. In one part of Soldier at War, Nick directly challenges John, effortlessly killing a zombie in front of him. In another part, John, fed up by Nick's pretentiousness, holds up a finger in a feeble attempt to show his animosity towards the guy that his best friend once chose over him. Nick's assertion of dominance is very provoking of John's insecurities. Meanwhile, Anna is clearly unimpressed, refusing to be fooled a second time by Nick's cool guy antics. A very interesting example of the alpha-beta interactions would be Fight Club. Hypermasculinity is an overdrive, with Tyler Durden being the muscular tough guy to rule muscular tough guys, while the narrator tags along depressively. He's Tyler's friend, Tyler's feeble opponent, and Tyler himself in this context. The twist is especially interesting because it addresses the possibility of someone being both a beta and an alpha, which is probably more realistic anyway, just not in Fight Club. The top layers are actually pretty hard to find examples for, the reasons being that stories are usually created via conflict, and conflict requires some emphasis on negative personality traits, but the Boiz tiers have a strong emphasis on positive personality traits. Perhaps if I was being nicer, half the previous examples would end up in these top tiers, and you might think these top ones should go lower. Everything's up for debate. Boys are chill but fun and got your back. Archie Andrews from Riverdale, believe it or not, is actually a really good example of this. A lot of his actions are motivated by a desire to help people. He starts a community center in his old boxing gym to help keep kids off the street, to stop them from joining gangs and doing crime. He becomes a bit of a vigilante and takes it upon himself to fight crime. He really cares about his friends and is willing to make sacrifices and take the fall for things to keep his friends safe. He goes through a lot. He ends up going to prison after being falsely accused of murder, and he loses his dad, but he still continues to be protector and defender, even at his own detriment. He doesn't always make the right choices, but he always has the best interests of people at heart. Gromit from Wallace and Gromit is my example of a cool boy, which may seem a bit out of the box, but he is very much a good boy like any cool dog. He is a loyal friend to Wallace and manages to express a lot of kindness and intellect with body language alone, even through his simple design. He goes along with Wallace's crazy antics and is overall just a very good companion. Cheese, Gromit, cheese, cheese. For my homie's last real one, I have Inigo Montoya from The Princess Bride. Sure, his character arc is revenge quest to avenge his father, but it's very much as a loyalty to his father. He's willing to do anything, even sacrifice himself for the people he cares about. He's devoted his entire life to learning sword fighting and preparing for this battle. He's got so much passion and devotion. Even when he's introduced as one of the bad guys, he's noble and pure-hearted and classy, and when he realizes he's on the side of the heroes, he fights for them and with them. He really cares about saving Wesley, and not just to be able to stop the six-fingered man. He refuses to give up. He gets you committed to his cause. He's just a real man, a true brother. Everyone loves an ego, right? Here we've reached the Viben/Chillboy level of the tier list. If you've seen some of my other videos, you've probably seen this guy, which is my brother. It was actually what I based my design of the homie/real one on, if you look at the drawing I did of him. But according to the maker of the hierarchy himself, my brother falls under this category. But my brother is actually pretty cool and fun to hang out with, and I appreciate him for putting up with my stupid video making, so thanks, Connell. You're the best. Our final tier is the Iconic Boy tier, and once again this is based off the tier maker's example. Iconic means someone who is, well, iconic. They're known by everyone as being the height of coolness, the height of quality. So here we have Arnold Schwarzenegger, aka the Terminator, who of course needs no explanation. So that brings us to the end of the hierarchy. I hope you found this entertaining and insightful. Sorry, this was a bit of a mess. As I mentioned at the start, there are a lot of inherent flaws with it, which will be the topic of next week's video. As a brief recap, the hierarchy starts with betas and peaks with iconic boys, with a range of types in between. Let me know in the comments below where you think you fall on the hierarchy, or if you don't think you fall on it at all. I post a video every Thursday morning Australian time, or Wednesday afternoon in America, and just like, share, subscribe, follow me on my social media. I post comics and drawings pretty regularly, and thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.